A joyous yet bittersweet moment for the country music community as we have learned that Toby Keith will be inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. And in just a moment, we are going to share a video with y'all of Toby Keith's son giving an emotional speech on behalf of his family, representing his father just yesterday at the ceremony announcing the inductees. It has never been a question on if Toby Keith will get into the Country Music Hall of Fame, but when will Toby Keith get into the Country Music Hall of Fame, which we now know that is happening. Toby Keith is one of the 3 inductees alongside country music legend John Anderson and the iconic touring musician, very, very world-renowned musician out of country music, Mr. James Burton. Toby Keith's passing was devastating, just absolutely heart-wrenching, heartbreaking, and a passing that a lot of us are still having a hard time coming to terms with. And sadly, we have learned from the CEO of the Country Music Association, Sarah Traherne, that on February the 6th, Toby Keith, just a day later, Toby Keith would have learned, he would have been told that he was being inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. Ballots for voting for the Country Music Hall of Fame closed just days prior on February 2nd. And a day after his passing on February 6th, Toby would have been informed that he would have been inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame this year. Again, if Toby's passing was not already very difficult enough, this just adds another layer to how tragic and sad his passing was this year and how much of an effect that had on a lot of country music fans, country music artists. Toby had such an impact on this genre, and he really stood for something, and his loss is such a great loss in this community, in this genre, really in music in general. We think about him daily, and now we do have the opportunity to inform everyone, to let everyone out there know that he will now be inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. I can't say it enough. This is so well deserved. I mean, from his chart-topping debut single, Should Have Been a Cowboy, back in 1993, Toby Keith released 21 studio albums throughout his career, 69 singles, 65 of them hitting the Billboard chart, 54 reaches the top 40, 40 of them made the top 10, and 20 went on to become #1 hits. And how can we not mention the amount of CMA honors, ACM honors, all of the awards and accolades that Toby Keith has received throughout his career, to even include the BMI Icon Award, which he took home just a couple of years ago in 2022. And if there was really any artist out there who could make you feel their passion, their love, their drive, their motivation for country music, for this genre, it was through Toby Keith. He even spoke about how during his battle with stomach cancer, that is the longest he had ever taken off in his entire career. He loved the work. He loved getting out to the fans. He truly loved country music. And you know, we talk about this all the time, about how songwriting and lyrics are so important. Storytelling is so important in country music. One part that Toby truly embraced was songwriting. He was very proud of songwriting. One of the only artists, you know, within several decades that really stuck to writing his own music, and he was very proud of that. It's not uncommon to mention writing rooms or giving credits to co-writers on songs nowadays. We see it all the time. But Toby Keith really hung on to the fact that he was a true songwriter. And he was. From his emotional ballads to his anthems to some of the more humor stuff that he did throughout his career, there was always a story there with Toby, and he has had just a remarkable career. He may not have gotten to hear these words before his passing that he would be inducted, but he's definitely hearing it in spirit, smiling down on this amazing honor and recognition. Now, just before we get to Toby Keith's son, Steelan, giving his emotional speech on behalf of his family and representing his father as they announce the Hall of Famers for this year, we are going to hear what the CEO of the Country Music Association had to say about the voting process and how Toby Keith was selected.
Congratulations, John. Welcome to the Hall of Fame. Before Kix and Ronnie return to share the impressive accolades of our modern era artists, I'd like to share a few details surrounding this year's election process. As usual, nominations are made in the fall of 2023, and the first ballot was sent to the voters before the holiday, with the final ballot closing on Friday, February the 2nd. Our professional services partners at Deloitte released the results to us just a few days later. This year, we anticipated receiving the names of our final inductees on Tuesday, February the 6th. As we know now, we woke up that morning to the heartbreaking news that our friend Toby Keith had lost his long battle with stomach cancer.
As you heard there, and we mentioned earlier, it was just one day after Toby's passing on February 6th that the inductees were announced, revealed, and unfortunately, again, on February 5th, we lost Toby, and it's such a hard loss, and with this adds, again, another layer to it.
What's bittersweet is just that a few hours later, our team received word from Deloitte that he'd been elected in the modern era category. Truly, one of the greatest honors of my job is getting to inform these inductees that they're the newest members of the hallowed class. My heart sank that Tuesday afternoon, knowing that we missed the chance to inform Toby while he was still with us. But I have no doubt that he's smiling down on us, knowing that he will always be, quote, as good as he once was. I should mention that while the rules of election do not allow someone to be elected into the Country Music Hall of Fame in the year in which they pass away, that doesn't apply this year, as Toby was selected before he died. Selection into the Country Music Hall of Fame is not just about celebrating at the induction ceremony or lifting a glass today to celebrate the announcement. It's about the music, the artistry, and the legacy of these artists and these individuals being remembered for the ages. All three of our inductees are certainly deserving of that honor today. Congratulations, big guy. I now welcome back Kix and Ronnie to help us recap the remarkable Hall of Fame career of our modern era inductee, Toby Keith.
You know, as we are all excited that Toby Keith is getting in, it gets harder and harder to hear that he is gone. Watching this, you can feel the pain and the heartache and the emotion that everyone is feeling from his passing. And this, you know, to add that layer we've been talking about here, that he did not get to hear this information is very sad. But I do believe that Toby wants us to celebrate, which we should celebrate. We need to celebrate his career and definitely celebrate this honor and recognition that he's having this year. Now that we've heard the CEO speak, let's go ahead and get to Toby Keith's son's speech. It was short, sweet, but emotional as he thanked the recognition of his father being an inductee into the Hall of Fame.
Thank you all. On behalf of my whole family, we want to thank the Hall of Fame. It's an honor to stand here and represent my father. He's an amazing man, husband, father, an artist, and I just want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you.
You know, Toby was a man of few words, but when he did speak, you listened. And I think that is exactly how Toby would have envisioned his thanks as he was recognized for this, as he was such a humble man. And you could see that it was difficult for Steelan to get up there to represent his father. Not that the representation was difficult, but just the overwhelm of emotion with his father no longer being with us. But what a better way to continue his legacy, as he is a part of it all this year, one of the inductees out of 3, alongside John Anderson and James Burton. Again, the medallion ceremony will be held in October. We are definitely looking forward to that, as a plaque for Toby, John, and James will also be unveiled on that night. A very, very special night in country music. And before I jump off here, I just want to say again, we miss you, big dog, and congratulations to all of the inductees. That's your latest update here from CountryCast. Hit that subscribe button down below so you never miss out on any breaking updates surrounding your favorite country music artist and all the news coming right out of Nashville.